Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you have some meat on your bone.
Well, we are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. It's the first day of Jaguars training camp. Give me a hell yeah. Round of applause. I know that all of Duval is fired up for that with the official beginning of 2025. So we're definitely going to talk some Jaguar ball. Big Sirs was out there for the opening day of practice. So we're going to dig into that. But we're also up here at the ACC Kickoff. You can jump on YouTube. You can see Radio Row, everything that's going on. And it's a pleasure to say hello to one of the stars of the Seminoles here in just a second. But Big Sirs,
yes.
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing
great.
great.
For training camp today.
Training camp was good. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of guys running here and there. There seemed to be a lot of great energy out there. I saw Liam Cohen out there, high-fiving guys and, instructing guys and getting guys going. So, it was a lot of good energy out there today.
Yeah. All right. So let's say hello to Earl Little Jr., who's with us right now as we talk FSU football. Earl, welcome in. How are you?
What's going on, baby?
You doing okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pull that closer because it is getting loud and proud up in here today. By the way, Leon, if you can look on the YouTube stream, the man's wearing a beautiful garnet double-breasted suit. Can you get a load of that, Big Sirs?
Okay, that's stylish now.
Yeah, you feel me?
That's stylish. Yeah, even the cane can admit that.
Yeah.
It does look pretty good. So you came up here, Natalie dressed, ready to go. How fired up are you for the beginning of 2025 for the Seminoles?
I'm real excited. To take this next step with my brothers. And we just been putting our heads down, working, getting 1% better every day, and we're all excited to take these new challenges for the upcoming season.
Yeah, it's wild to think that you have played for the team that you're going to play against coming up Labor Day weekend. Alabama v. Florida State. It's going to be one of the biggest games of the weekend. What was your experience like at Alabama before we kind of talk about your second year in Tallahassee?
I had a great time up in Tuscaloosa. Met some tremendous people, built great relationships over the couple of years that I was there. But now I'm here, and I'm blessed to be in this position and play for the state.
All right, Leon, jump in.
Earl, how was your off season? I mean, I know you made the transition from Alabama to Florida State. Had a little down season last year, going 2-10. I mean, are there any of your mechanics that you worked on that you tried to improve on, and some of the things that you do well, you try to enhance them?
Yeah, definitely. I've been working at a lot of things this year, this off season, as far as different techniques and man coverage, tracking the near hip when it comes to tackling. Just my range overall. Just getting to the football, breaking on the half. Staying in the post, just little things like that that I've been trying to get right. And yeah, I just been working, keeping my head on the swivel. Just paying attention to little details that I probably never, paid attention to. I'm doing that, just excel my game, and I'm excited for the new opportunities.
We're talking with Earl Little Jr., he's part of the Seminoles secondary, and you have been looking. There's first off a coordinator change, so I want to get an idea of what is different on the defensive side. But are you a full-on switch to safety? Is that how it's going to be played out?
That's me now. So in this new 3-3-5, we'll have a field safety, a rover, which is like in that intermediate level, playing the post and stuff like that, and we'll have a boundary safety. So I'll be at that rover position, just robbing any intermediate level routes. I'll be in the post, I'll play the half. It's interchangeable with both of those three safety positions. But, I'll be down in the box, blitzing off the edges and stuff like that.
Right, so it gives you an idea of being versatile as you can be on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely going to put me in position to showcase my abilities, for sure.
So what has Coach Norvell said to you guys with the two coordinators that have been hired and obviously trying to turn around what was a very disappointing 2-10 season? What has the message been in the offseason?
Just trust your training and just be desperate, be eager to win. And that's what we've been doing, just listening to our new coordinators. For my instance, is Coach White. I feel like Coach White has been a great addition to our program on the defensive side of the ball. Just his energy. And how he goes about his days, it gets all the guys fired up. He gets all the guys fired up every day, and that's something that's going to be big for us in this defense.
Now, Earl, your dad being a Hurricane great at the University of Miami, have you leaned on him as far as information and stuff that he may see in your techniques and fundamentals that you need to work on?
Definitely. We don't talk about it too often because he doesn't like to be like a helicopter dad. Helicopter dad, as people would say. But I definitely, reach out to him whenever I need to about my game. He'll give me the tips and tricks and the knowledge to be successful. That's what I take it by. But he tries to let my coaches coach me. That's what he does. He's not on my trail too much. But whenever I need a little advice, it ain't nothing to pick up the phone and reach out to Pops.
Did he give you any advice on FSU Miami, that rivalry?
Oh man, yeah. We had a little in-house rivalry battle going on, but it is what it is. But still his boy, and he was rooting for me every step of the way. But we definitely had a little chit-chat going.
All right, so before we say goodbye to Earl, Big Search, you got to bring up the instruction you provided this young man.
Listen, I don't know if I had any instruction, but Earl, I don't know if you remember back in the day when we had a flag football league team.
Yeah.
And I was your coach. I wasn't a very good one. I was a terrible coach, all right? Because I had all this amazing talent on my team, and I didn't know how to drop no plays. I just said, Earl, go deep. That's all I just told him. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember them days.
Okay,
definitely.
I just wanted to make sure you remember. Because it was you, it was a Rondé Gaston Jr. Y'all all were out there playing football.
Daryl Porter,
all those guys.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me now that all you guys, are in the league, man, doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, that's right. Appreciate that, Coach.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Earl, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. You look sharp. Like we said, the double-breasted garnet is working. Enjoy the season coming up in 2025 here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, man. Earl Little Jr. with us on XL Primetime. All right, I'm going to get you over there with Trent. He's going to ask you one of those questions that he can put on social media, and hopefully you guys can get together on that. So we'll get him over there, get him taken care of. Big Search, we definitely got to drill down on what you saw today out at training camp, and I know that it's just no pads, just shorts and helmets, but the energy level, at least from what I'm seeing on social with everything's been put out, it's sky high right now.
It is always sky high, especially on the first day of training camp. I don't care if you're in pads or you're not in pads. This is the kickoff to the season. You're talking about weeks from now. You're going to be lining up on Sundays, in the stadium playing the game. So this is just the process that you have to go through. So my adrenaline was flowing a little bit. Me and T-Mac were out there watching the guys. And, they went through their team periods. They went through their individuals, special teams, and all that kind of stuff. I saw some good stuff. I saw Travis Hunter catch a little ball in the flat and take it up the field. I saw BTJ in the crossing route in a little traffic make a catch. Now, this was like 7-on-7, but, it was still very impressive. In the team period, I saw the offensive line get a couple of yards on the run play. There was a lot of play action that was being played, and Trevor had some opportunities down the field, and he missed on one, he made on one. So it was a little, hit or miss for him in the team period. But I think overall, I think that both sides of the ball got after it pretty good. They stayed off the ground. They were physical. They were using their fundamentals and techniques. So for the first day, I would give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what it looks like on Friday. And more than anything else, I think what you and I and Matt, and we've all discussed this on one level, and other Coach Camps included in this conversation, just the way they left off mini camp and OTA work and then took that 5 weeks, made sure that they stayed sharp. Did they look the part, Big? Coming back, like no one looked like they were out of shape or anything like that. Again, this is just day one. We've only seen one practice.
It's hard to tell. I think that for the most part, I saw guys give great effort. I saw a lot of good energy. Hell, I saw the coaches running around high-fiving and twirling towels and everything. I was like, okay, all right, y'all into it. That's what it's all about, So, yeah, I didn't see any guys struggling with it. Now, don't get me wrong now. It was 78 degrees outside, so it was a little overcast. So, it wasn't like it was blazing hot. In the dog days of training camp, when it gets a little hotter, when it's in the high 90s and that kind of stuff, then we'll see, how this team reacts to a little adversity. But right now, today, for the most part, it was good football being played out there.
And not a 2-towel day for you, just a 1-towel.
Just a 1-towel day. I did have to go back home and shower. I did sweat.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. But that early wake-up call, at the very least, they're getting out there before the sun gets way up on top of them, and they can get their work in. And so, we'll have the next 2-3 weeks before we get to that opener to kind of get a feel as to whether or not this football team is going to look the part. But if you're just listening to the talking heads, Leon, they are basically saying this is one of the worst rosters in the National Football League. It's outside of the top 25. It's that bottom fourth. they're going to have to prove some stuff to a lot of people, that they can go out there with new coordinators, with a new head coach, and a renewed enthusiasm that this is a better roster than what most people think.
Well, listen, I mean, when the pundits say stuff like that, then you're just playing with house money. Then you ain't got nothing to lose. You might as well go out there and play some football because everybody's written you off. They're written you off from the divisions and they make it the playoffs. So when you're playing with house money, man, you got to be careful because when you're playing like you ain't got nothing to lose. And hopefully this team plays like that. I mean, I think it's going to be one or two things is going to happen. I think either this team is just going to go crazy and play well because they know no better. They got a new regime and everything going on. They win 11 games, or this thing is going to totally implode before us. I don't think there's any middle ground in my assessment.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that you do see what looks like a passionate football team that looks organized, driven. They've got a plan on both sides of the ball. They're attacking, they're aggressive, and they turn opportunities into points. And I think that's what all of Duval wants to see is a team that – what was our joke forever? Keep us in the game until they cut off the beer sales. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure you get to the fourth quarter with a lot on the line. Well, we need to get past that. This now needs to be a football team that wins those one-score games instead of Bats. 3-10 was their record in one-score games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see this team play with some passion on both sides of the ball. Start fast and finish fast. I mean, that's been the knock on this team for the last 5 to 10 years is that they start slow and they finish slow. And I don't understand, especially when you're playing at home. When you're playing at home, you're supposed to be feeding off the energy of the fans and the crowd and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that you're coming out slow and methodical, I mean, what the hell are you doing in the locker room? I mean, y'all take a NyQuil before y'all come out and play the game. Half of y'all half asleep. You're supposed to be enthusiastic. That energy's supposed to be there, and then you're supposed to carry that energy on throughout the game, and especially in the fourth quarter when you need it the most. You feed off that frenzy of the fans. It helps you win those type of ball games. They've got to play better at home. If you've got to win at least 80 to 90% of your games at home, and then go 50-50 on the road, and that gets you in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're exactly right. All right, so we got plenty of training camp talk. If you guys were out there, hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Jump in on that subject. You want to talk ACC ball, the Seminoles. We just heard from Earl Little Jr. We'll hear from Richie Leonard IV coming up in a little bit. Mike Norvell later on today. And we'll make sure all this stuff is up on social, so easily go to any of the 1010XL social platforms and take advantage of a lot of college football content that we're kicking out this week. We kicked out last week with SEC Media Days, and this week the ACC Kickoff. Matt Hayes is in Vegas, baby, as he's got the Big Ten Media Days going on, so we're going to say hello to him coming up here in just a few. But, Big, let me just set the table because we did say Mike Norvell will join us later on today, so we'll make sure that interview we have ready for you either this afternoon on the Frangie Show or tomorrow. But you got Florida State in the house. Georgia Tech is in the house. Louisville, Pitt, Syracuse, and Wake Forest. And so Wake Forest is a good story. Jake Dickert is their new head coach. You've got Syracuse with Fran Brown, who we're big fans of because he comes from that Kirby cut of cloth, and he doesn't accept losing too well, doesn't take a shower if he doesn't win. Winners get washed, he said. Narduzzi, we're going to at least find out what he has to say about Pittsburgh today. Jeff Brom is an interesting story at Louisville, Leon, because he turned a lot of heads last year with the offense that he was running. If he can get a run game and a defensive effort that keeps him in football games, look out for Louisville, I say.
Well, I mean, all those teams that you mentioned, the Georgia Techs, the Syracuse, the Louisvilles, I mean, there were no easy wins for Miami in any of those cases. Yeah. So that's the strength of the ACC. Now, it may be not comparable to the SEC, but I know that Miami, me watching those games against those teams, it was always a struggle. So, yeah, hats off goes off to those teams.
All right, so let's we'll be talking about those teams today. Clemson will be the headliner tomorrow, but we'll get into all that coming up. We're going to say hello to Matt Hayes. We'll do that from Vegas, and then after that, make sure that you get a feel for what is going on here. Tony Elliott, Rhett Lashley, Ron Rivera. We'll hear from all of them coming up today on our ACC kickoff coverage. Thanks to the local plumbers and pipe fitters, Local 234 for our ACC kickoff coverage. And, of course, the Golf Club of Southampton on a Wednesday. Make sure you call 287-PLAY and get on out there this afternoon for a little 9 after 5. 9-hole game, skins game, food and prizes afterwards. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY. It is on here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's say hello to Matt in Vegas coming up.
XL Primetime, driven by Duval Ford Mobile Service. Game-ready service right to your driveway. There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
Ready to add some value to your day? The everyday deals at Sonny's have got you covered. Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, all you can eat ribs for $19.99, and our new loaded barbecue potato for $11. Available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Family owned and managed for 20-plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Join me, Max Fink, as I keep a close eye on everything that happens in Gator Nation.
The Gator Report, polished up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Hey, Hickett here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained, hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contest for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, No hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head-on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Team 10XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Well, I think it's fair to say we are 3 wide on XL Primetime. We do the XLP Big Three, but we are definitely 3 wide today in Charlotte, North Carolina, in good old Duval, and in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Matt Hayes joins us now from Big Ten Media Days. Matty, how are you, bud?
Doing great. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. It is loud here. Big Sirs has been to training camp practice. Only a 1-towel day for him, but already a Frank Frangie shower schedule for him. What's cooking out there in Las Vegas?
First thing I want to say is one of my friends told me Big Sir said yesterday that he felt like the kid on the playground nobody wanted to play with, sitting in the studio by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I said the kid at recess.
I'm sorry about that, bro.
It's all good,
We didn't
bro.
mean to leave you high and dry like that.
It's all good, bro. Y'all.
We enjoyed some Popeye's chicken today.
We
Just
did.
me and him.
Yeah, you jet setters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Good for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting day today, actually. Penn State and Oregon highlight this day today, and these are 2 teams that obviously have the ability to win the Big Ten. 2 teams that everybody believes will be part of the playoff talk come late November. But 2 teams that have questions. Penn State clearly after last year's semifinal run, and the fact that they got to the point where they were a game away. Drew Aller did not play that well in that semifinal game, which obviously hurt them. But they've got a lot of stars returning. Drew Aller's returning for his 3rd year. The question is this the year Penn State finally breaks through? And then there's Oregon. I'm going to write about Oregon today at USA Today. And the interesting is, you got a team that was unbeaten the entire year last year, get to that Rose Bowl game, just get absolutely annihilated. And now where are they? Where is Oregon? Their first game ever under Dan Lanning, they got annihilated by eventual national champion Georgia. And the last game under Dan Lanning now, they got annihilated by eventual national champion Ohio State. So kind of where is this program?
Yeah, man, how do you recover from that? I mean, that's something that you just don't wipe the board away and say it's done. I mean, that's some backlash. I mean, how as a coaching staff, how do you prevent that backlash having to carry over into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that Dan Lanning's been very good at is getting those guys motivated and ready to play. And even though they've had struggles in big games, they have not been exactly a big game team. I mean, if you start looking at it, they won the Big Ten last year, obviously, with the win against Penn State. That was probably his best win. But even the win against Ohio State at home last year, and Eugene, had some controversy with it. By the way, Dan Lanning got the clock stopped and basically limited what Ohio State could do there on that final drive. So you look at that, you look at how they've lost to Oregon, Washington twice with the playoff on the line, with the Pac-12 on the line. In big games, they have not played so well, other than that, like I said, that Big Ten championship game. So, yeah, I think he's recruiting well. He's getting players there. He's finding the right spot, the right hit at quarterback. Now he's got a guy that we'll see what happens with Dante Moore. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was a former 5-star guy that played well at times at UCLA as a freshman, ended up getting benched. And, we'll see what happens this year. He sat out last year behind Dylan Gabriel, and now it's his time.
Matt is in Las Vegas as we're talking Big Ten Media Days, and we're up here in Charlotte with the ACC Kickoff and Big back in good old Duval. So, Matt, when we talk about what Dante Moore represents, it's the transfer portal age of quarterbacks, and if Lanning has any success with him, we know that they're going to be able to put a pretty dang good product defensively on the football field as well. The other storyline that's coming out of Big Ten Media Days, and you probably have something to do with this because USA Today is posting it, Mike Loxley says he lost. He basically said he lost the locker room because of NIL.
Yeah. He was very open about it yesterday. Yeah, it's his point is, look, they basically right now college football has an NFL locker room, but the only difference is, and it's a big difference, and Leon could speak to this. In the NFL, everybody knows what everybody's making. Everybody knows. In college football, you don't. In college football, there's a lot of unknown, a lot of jealousy. There are guys saying, I make this, and they really don't make this. He said at one point in a team meeting last year, he said, anyone in this place that makes over $200,000 a year, stand up. And he said, I know what every one of you make. Anyone who makes that, stand up. Because there were guys saying they made X, Y, and Z, and there was a problem with the locker room, how these guys were getting along with each other. And I thought it was really interesting how he admitted that. Look, I lost the locker room because of what's going on with this whole NIL situation. Now, that said, it's going to help now that you're in a situation of, it'll help somewhat, of revenue sharing, because people are going to know what guys are making. But as far as the private NIL stuff, no. That's still going to be a wide open of the great unknown.
Yeah, see, man, that was my concern with the NIL, is because the dynamics of the locker room. I mean, it's one thing when you're grown, when you're 24, 25 years old, you understand that you're making a certain amount of money and you're not trying to flex on how much money you make, but you're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids who are making millions of dollars and a little immature, and they want to talk and run their mouth, social media.
Yes, that was his point.
Yeah, let people know, sometimes they have stacks of, 10 grand in their hand and all that other kind of foolishness. I mean, that's what comes along with being young and foolish. And I'm a stickler. I want these kids to make the money, but I mean, as far as the maturity factors, I can't imagine any coach having to deal with a kid that's making $500,000 to $1 million a year and doesn't know how to act doesn't know how to act, so to say.
Yeah, that was Loxley's point, really. He said, I'm looking at a kid who, a month earlier couldn't buy a ham sandwich, and now he's flushing money. He said, he said, he said, believe me, I want to be the first to say that I am not against players earning money. I think the players have always have always deserved a piece of the pie, and I'm glad they're getting it. He said the point is I think the financial aspect of it is overshadowing and sometimes eliminating what's so important about college. And you and I and Joe, we talk about this all the time at XLP. College isn't about going to class as much as it is about 4 years of living on your own and proving you can do it, proving you can survive on your own. You don't need your parents with you. And he said that kind of stuff, guys, the maturity you gain, the experience and knowledge of living that you gain is now getting lost because it's once you've got that kind of money and giving it to a guy who couldn't buy a ham sandwich a week earlier, everything goes out the window.
Well, Matt, it was about, listen, in our time, in our area, it was about the struggle. The struggle, the adversity, the not having money and figuring it out is what made us who we were. But now these kids, they got the money, they got the cars, they're flexing on social media. They don't know anything about struggle. So by the time their careers are over, sometimes this will be the only money they make. Because now, you're maneuvering from the real point in jest is to get yourself in a position to where you can go to the NFL and make more rookie contracts and extensions like that. But a lot of these guys are flexing so early that they may lose. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying a certain percentage of them.
Well, they're Maryland players, so the vast majority will no longer be playing football after college.
Right. But
You're right.
I think the point the point that Locke is making is this stuff happens at every locker room. It's just different levels of intensity, and you know, it's the old Sinbad line, the comedian Sinbad, where he said, you know, you're in college, you got two piles of clothes, dirty and funky. Dirty you can wear it, funky you got to do something with it. Whereas these guys, they don't. It's not about the clothes. I'll just go buy another pair or whatever. I don't care because the money's there. They have it. You know what I mean? And that's the difference is when you have the ability to make that decision of, well, screw it, I won't do laundry. I'll just go buy more. You're not learning anything. In fact, you're learning something negative.
Well, you go buy a $10,000 pair of pants because that's what's happening. That's what happened.
Right. That's what Jeremiah did. Right.
Yeah.
Jeremiah looked good yesterday, by the way. He looked really good.
I don't doubt it.
No doubt he's making $4 million. No doubt that he's making $4 large.
So, yeah, because if you figure the pool, what do we estimate the pool was this year? $2.98 billion, something in that neighborhood. Might even gone over the $3 billion mark, which is just, it's nuts to say. And
That's
obviously,
NIL.
Yeah, you can do the math, and you can add up how many players.
Know of, right.
Okay, but here's another example. Richie Leonard, and hopefully we'll have the interview either on social or on the show, but Richie Leonard IV, who was a okay lineman at Florida, said
I don't know about okay.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt with the okay. And his team, in quotations, had to meet with Norvell's team to make sure that both of them were okay with whatever the deal was. That's a different world, Leon. That is a
Where was he going? That's what I want to know.
Who knows?
If he wasn't staying in Florida State, where was he going? Who's going to pay him more?
It's just crazy. And Big, did you have an entourage with you back in the day that your team had to meet with that team to make sure we were...
No, I ain't have no entourage. I'm looking if I had fans, let alone an entourage.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. All right, Matt, good stuff. You got plenty coming out at Matt Hayes, CFB, and, of course, USA Today Sports. We will come back if you have anything good. Otherwise, we will talk to you mañana.
And don't lose your shirt gambling out there.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, bro. I made one $20 bet. JJ's laughing at me because I placed a few.
What'd you play, the slots?
No. Your phone just kind of crapped out right when you said what the bet was.
I put 20 on Illinois to win the Big Ten.
To win $800.
20 to win 800.
20 to win 8. Benjamin's.
I told him he might as well buy us lunch with that 20.
Yeah, that's true. That's
let me explain it first before we go. Let me explain my thinking, okay?
You big Brett Bielema fan.
So I am. I love Bielema. So Bielema says he usually holds out a couple of players for spring practice because he believes the guys he believes will be all-conference players, right? Typically 2 or 3, no more than 4. This year when he got to spring practice, he's going over his roster guys he wants to hold out. Guess how many he had?
How many?
16.
16?
16.
I don't know. He's embellishing a little bit.
He's got a third-year starter quarterback who got hot at the end of last season. They beat up South Carolina in that game, who everyone said should have been in the playoffs last year.
True.
I'm buying. For $20, I'm buying Bielema.
Oh yeah, I do love it. That's a good play. Ain't nothing bad about that one. All right, that's good. But please, gamble. Lose a portion of your wallet before you come back. Okay? It'll make us feel better.
Who says I haven't?
All right, good. That's what you got to tell us. You got to tell us. That way we'll know. Get on the craps table later on. All right?
All right, boys.
All right, Matt Hayes out there in Vegas with Big Ten Media Days. Ron Rivera, he's a guy that certainly knows plenty about the NFL and now the college game as he comes back to the college football world. Let's say hello to Ron Rivera. Hear our conversation with him coming up on XL Primetime. Golf Club of Southampton, Wednesday, 2-8-7 play is the number. Head on out, enjoy a 9-hole game, food and prizes, and any other time you want to go out there and enjoy it, you definitely can take advantage of member opportunities and just go enjoy a round of golf at the Golf Club of Southampton.
XL Primetime, driven by Duval Ford. He's a Seminole that's still academically eligible.
Get the world by the tail and wrap it around and pull it down and put it in my pocket.
Rick Ballou.
We're going to show this world a thing or two.
Evenings on 1010XL.
Fire Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries. Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
I'm Frank Franzi. I told you my daughter Amber has tried Awaken 180. Man, has it worked. You ready for this? After 3 weeks and change, she's lost 22.5 pounds. You should give it a try. 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, let's talk about diamond cutting. How is a diamond price affected by the way it is cut?
Frank, that's probably the most important question asked about diamonds, because the trade-off between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one that's not is the diamond's carat weight. You see, diamond cutters buy rough diamonds based on quality and weight. So as they cut the rough diamond, everything cut away affects profits. However, there's specific known cutting parameters, and each deviation from these means they have a heavier, less beautiful diamond. Unfortunately, a customer can't detect all those cutting imperfections. They need expert help about a diamond's cut grade. You see, for any round diamond of a particular color, clarity, and carat weight, there are as many as 10 different prices that can vary by as much as 50%. At Underwoods, we look specifically at how a diamond's cut before we look at anything else, because it's the most important factor when it comes to a diamond's beauty, and to us, whether it should carry the Underwood name or not.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 23, 1976, the Steelers defeated the College All-Stars in the storm-shortened Chicago Charities College All-Star Game, which would be the last of the series.
What is the smallest NFL stadium? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Soldier Field in Chicago is not only the smallest, but is also the oldest, built originally in 1924.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go, here we go, let's go. It's live now, let's go.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius. Or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services.
TysonInc.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Great to be up here for the ACC Kickoff. Thanks to the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, local 234. Our ACC Kickoff coverage is always fun because you got a lot of storylines that weave their way through this conference. And like we said, we have guys in this conference that I never, ever would have imagined, named Bill Belichick and Andrew Luck and Craig James and some of those guys. It's crazy. It's nuts. We're going to hear from Ron Rivera coming up here in a minute, Leon. But the way this conference has at least expanded, it didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But geography is out the dang window, is it not? It doesn't matter. As long as you have the potential to have more than one team in the college football playoff based on who you have in your conference.
I mean, I'm an old soul when it comes to the ACC. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, to be quite honest with you. But, hey, listen, more teams mean more money. That's what the bottom line is. More teams, more money. Cal, Stanford, those type of guys, SMU. So, I mean, you bring in the guys, you increases the TV viewership, increases the money within the conference. So, I mean.
And they were just trying to survive for a little bit there.
Exactly.
Bringing in whoever.
Yeah.
Very true.
I mean, and those teams that we brought on board, I mean, they were like wandering in the wilderness after they got rid of the Pac-12. You know, they got rid of it. So, I mean, we gladly took them in. I know it's going to be a bit of a haul going coast to coast, but, you know, that's in the business. We're in that business now, so we just got to get used to it.
Yeah, and I do think at the very least they salvaged the look of the conference and the rep of the conference, because they didn't have to necessarily, like, as much as I love UCF, I love having fun, and Knights fans will get on me for this, but the Big 12 had to beg UCF to come into their conference because they had been poached, and after Oklahoma and Texas left them, they were reeling. And so UCF is in a great spot, a growing, thriving fan base, but yeah, they had to get them or they were going to look bad, and they had to build themselves back up, and that's what happened with the Big 12. All right, let's hear the conversation that we had with a former head coach that's coached in the Super Bowl before. His name is Ron Rivera. It's a pleasure to say hello to Ron Rivera as we are at the ACC Kickoff. We're up in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're talking college ball. I think of him as an NFL guy, but he's with Cal Berkeley now. Coach, welcome in. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm excited. This is kind of neat to be able to come back to Charlotte, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, you have good memories, good ties here. The city is welcoming when it comes to the ACC, but now your new role, you're part of Cal Berkeley. You're going back. Well, can you call it back home, right?
Yes. Oh, very much so. I mean, for the most part, it's where everything started as far as the NFL is concerned. You know, my first opportunity to be an NFL head coach, being able to help assimilate to the community, be part of the community, I think that was very big, especially here in a community like Charlotte.
Yeah.
The big thing for it, more so than anything else, is when you go back and you look at really how things were built for us, it started with really being able to bring in the right kind of players.
Uh-huh.
First draft pick, Cam Newton. Second first-round pick for us the next season, Luke Kuechly. I mean, that's probably about as good as it gets as far as the coach is concerned, to be able to draft those kind of players.
Yeah, I'm going to step off to the Duval side for just 1 second, because we always measure Carolina versus Jacksonville. Those were two pretty damn good draft picks,
yes.
And we'll talk a little bit more about Jacksonville coming up. But honestly, Coach, it's so tough to build these programs, and especially in today's college world, the NIL world. You're a general manager. I never thought I'd say general manager in college football.
But see, that's kind of where this has gone to. Once you start incorporating finances, now you've got to be able to have somebody to come in and help manage them, or at least help develop the resources for them. And that's really part of what I do, is help bring in the resources, work with the donor engagements, work with revenue streams. And once you start bringing that money in, now it's how do you disperse them? Well, for us, one of the things that we also have to do is we also have to help identify the talent. Well, we've kind of looked at an NFL model and said, okay, what are our priorities for offense, defense, and special teams? Where your first priority in offense is, and I've learned this over a period of time without a doubt in my mind, that this is a quarterback-driven sport. You've got to have a guy that can pull the trigger for you, that can make good decisions, protect the football, be a game manager, but then also be a guy that can go out and win the game for you when he needs to. That, to me, is priority one. We did the same thing we got here to Carolina, and the decision was Cam Newton. Secondly, did we have enough playmakers around? Did you have the running game? Well, we had D'Angelo Williams, we had Jonathan Stewart, we had Michael Tolbert, so we could run the ball. Well, that's one of the things that we got to create for in college football. We got to make sure there's a good, solid running game. Now, do you have playmakers, guys that can go up and get the ball? Steve Smith, okay? Yeah. Teddy Ginn, guys that can just flat out run. And then Greg Olsen at tight end. I mean, that was it. And then protect them. So when you prioritize it, now this is how we're going to spend it. You got to spend it on your quarterback. You got to spend it on a couple offensive linemen to protect them, a running game to help take the pressure off them, and then those playmakers. So we use that model, and then we did the same thing defensively. We identified who our quarterback on defense was. For us, we were fortunate. We had Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
And then you build around him. Is it a pass rusher or is it a cover man? So you prioritize and spend your money wisely. And then you've got to have somebody that can put points on the board as far as your kicker is concerned.
Luke Kuechly, an ACC guy, Cam, an SEC guy. We're talking with Ron Rivera on XL Primetime. And when I think of what Cal, like I joke, Coach, I call it the Any Coast Conference now because it
all
was the
Coast Conference. That's the way that for me is. I like Any, but I go to all Coast.
Yeah, I've got all of them, but it's funny. And then for a while, Leon Searcy, who's on the show with us, he would call it the Clemson Invitational because it was anybody that could take on Clemson that could finally take them off the top. So how do you view Cal's position in the ACC in terms of the competitive balance?
I think it's really good. I mean, last year we finished at 6-6, and it's a big part of the reason why I'm here because you go back and look at it. We lost 4 games by 9 points, 3 by 1, and 1 by a touchdown at the end of the game. And it just kind of shows you just how close we can be. And then we found out that as far as revenue generating and spending was concerned, we were below average. So if we can get above average, if I can go out and get more resources for the coaches and for the players and then help us generate more revenue, that gives us a chance, I believe, to get above that. And that's part of why I'm here is to be able to do those things for Coach Wilcox and the football team, and that is to bring in resources that we can use, whether it's equipment, whether it's enhancing the facilities, whether it's improving on sports medicine, and also it's bringing in the NIL so we can go out and we can be able to pick the right kind of players.
What is his wish list? He comes from SEC blood, is up in Tennessee. What is his wish list in terms of, hey, Ron, what I need this, this, and this?
Well, as you go back and you look at it, it is obviously about having the players, but having those resources so you can choose what you're going to do. Get the players, obviously, but now what do we have to do next? Do we have to enhance our facilities? Do we have to get more equipment? Do we have to get better sports medicine? Do we add a nutritionist? I mean, these are all things that are out there that he would like to have us do and all things that I am working on to get for him.
All right, a couple more for Ron Rivera. I can't help it. I got to go back to the Bears. I got to go back to a couple. But honestly, what's your best football memories? Is it as a player? Does it go back to the 80s?
You're right about as a player. My memories go directly, immediately to the 85 Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And the group of men that I played with. In fact, we're being honored this year by the Chicago Bears in the home opener. They play Monday night on the opening week. And they're going to honor the 85 Super Bowl team. It's the 40th reunion of it, 40-year reunion. So they're bringing as many of us back as they can. And fortunate enough for me, it works out on my schedule, so I'll be there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I saw a trivia question. I think you were the first team to win back-to-back 14-game seasons. And so, yeah, you guys, those stories with Tika and all of them were great, I'm sure.
But that's probably the biggest disappointment, too, though, is we didn't win more than one.
Yeah.
You go back and look at that. You know, for me as a coach, being here in Carolina, that was about as good as it got. I mean, we reached the peak, the pinnacle. Unfortunately, we didn't win it, but we got to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 50, and this is the 10-year reunion of that team. We actually have an event coming up this coming Thursday that the Charlotte Observer is putting on. So myself and several other four of my former players will be there. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
All right, one other one. How close were you to maybe coming to Jacksonville and doing a little bit with the franchise?
I was close. Liam Cohen, I think, is a terrific football mind. I really do. And working with him would have been great. But when the call to go back home came up, and in either case, my wife is going to be a huge part of the conversation. Her and I talked about it. And, where I am in my life, it's not about money anymore. It's about opportunity and chances. I would have loved to have been in Jacksonville with Liam because I really do believe he's going to have success. I'm banking on it. I really am. I believe he will. I think he's smart. He's energetic. He's hard to pin down because he's going and constantly. But he's such a very thoughtful guy. You can see everything he thinks about before he talks. So that's important because he's gathering information. Now he's trying to disseminate it properly. And I do think he's done a terrific job with the personnel already. Yeah. And that, to me, is going to speak well for who I believe they can become. So I'm cheering for him because I do like who he is. I thought we had a great conversation. I found him very personable and very likable. So I do think he's going to have success.
Well, all of Duval's loving what you're saying there. Coach Ron Rivera, we appreciate your time. Best of luck at Cal. Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate this.
I thought it was a great little piece of intel there, Leon, right there at the end. Ron Rivera was a candidate to be a general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you heard what he said, and we have to remind ourselves, head coach came before general manager here in Duval when they decided to go get Liam Cohen, and then they brought in James Gladstone after that. So Rivera was in play.
Yeah, listen, Rivera's, his resume speaks for itself. He's a hell of a coach, absolutely hell of a coach. Not only is it, what he did with Carolina, that team, the success that they had making it to the Super Bowl, their draft picks and everything. I think what he said about college football, him to be the general manager of college football. The dynamics of football has changed now in college football. Yeah. It'll never be the same. So now, you've got to assess your war room just like the NFL. You got to assess who you want to bring in, how much money you want to spend on them, as far as the quarterback goes, the wide receivers, the running backs, offensive line, defense, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to equate at what's the value at each position and who gets what and how much you're spending. So the dynamics of football and college football has changed. It is the NFL now because now these players are getting paid, but now general managers are coming on campus, having to deal with the assessment of who should get money at these different positions.
And I did laugh a little bit. We were in one of the breakout rooms, Ozzie and I, with the coach of Cal, Justin Wilcox, and was asked about borrowing intel from his general manager, Ron Rivera, and he said the rules are different. He said, but you can't help but look over at him and want to, hey, what do you think about this? Because he has seen and done so much on the defensive side of the football. Anyway, I really like the conversation, and he's definitely one of the good guys. 85 Bears, and he mentioned it, Leon, and I know you know this. You get there, but you don't get it done, which is what happened with him coaching in Carolina and you playing in Pittsburgh. But then they thought they should have won more than one in the mid-'80s with the Bears. The Bears.
Yeah, with that defense,
yeah.
By the way, the most dominating defense in NFL history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily. Yeah. What was the defense called? The 4-6?
Yeah.
The Bear defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, unstoppable.
It was so dang good.
Until the Dolphins got a hold of it. But, yeah, for the most part, it was unstoppable.
They were so dominating, that's for sure. All right, so let's get into the 1 o'clock hour, get a little bit of training camp talk out of you to start things off, and then we will get to Rhett Lashley, the coach of SMU. That's coming up. It's XL Primetime, ACC Kickoff, and we say thanks to the local plumbers and pipe fitters, Local 234, for bringing the coverage today here at the ACC Kickoff, and, of course, the Golf Club of Southampton, our Wednesday sponsor. Make sure you call 287-PLAY and get on out with a little 9 after 5 tonight.
XL Primetime.
Driven by Duval Ford.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell,
1010XL.
It's the biggest jewelry event of the season this week at Diamonds Direct. Shop now through Sunday and take an extra 20% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, and all fashion jewelry. But don't miss the main event this weekend, July 25th through 27th. For 3 days only, top designers will be in store with exclusive collections you can only find at Diamonds Direct. Shop now to save and join us this weekend for the full VIP experience. Hurry, this limited time offer ends Sunday. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for more details and to book your appointment.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit topdressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with topdressing.com.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Florida men's basketball will be heading here to Jacksonville to take on Miami on Sunday, November 16th in the Jacksonville Hoops Showdown presented by the Jacksonville Sports Foundation. Tickets for the event are scheduled to go on sale September 24th. You can register online at arena.jacksevents.com. Florida men's basketball also will be returning to the Orange Bowl Classic on December 13th, where the Gators will face George Washington. It'll mark Florida's 24th appearance in the event. It will be held in Sunrise, Florida. Fans can purchase tickets online at orangebowl.org/basketball. Right now, 86 degrees at 12:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Show, like we'll probably have them, you want to give them a couple days and then give them an opportunity to go flip-flop within the same practice and become the norm, right? Like once we do that, that'll kind of become the norm and how we operate, but it'll probably be within the first week or so.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Day one of training camp for your Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today, and that's your head coach, Liam Cohen, talking about Travis Hunter and how they're going to integrate him on both sides of the ball and make sure he sees some offense and defense. And anything that's posted or said about Travis Hunter, Leon, people go crazy for it. All of Duval's so fired up to see what 12 can do wearing either the teal, the white, whatever jersey they have on him during practice, that's for sure. So let's start there before we get back to the ACC kickoff in a conversation with Rhett Lashley coming up. But you were there. Anything Travis Hunter does, they go nuts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he ran a 5-yard flat route and caught the ball and took it up the field, and the fans lost their mind. So I mean, even on his misses, they go ooh ah. I'm like, so I mean, the whole thing. I mean, they're definitely enthralled with this kid. The kid, I mean, he's got to be the bill of goods for the amount of money we spent on him. I mean, what we gave up for him. So today he was in offense today. He had a couple of nice catches in 7-on-7, and he ran a nice couple of routes in the team period. So I think this was going to probably be the time or the period of maybe later on in the next couple of weeks where you'll probably see how Liam Cohen is going to fluctuate, his time on offense and defense. So that has some carryover into the preseason and then ultimately into the season.
Yeah, the Jaguars put one play out where he did turn up field, and that probably was 7-on-7 that you're talking about. And his body control is impressive. He goes up in the air, snags it, pulls it down, and then you can just see his body control stop him quickly from going right into the defender. And so those are the things. If he has that body English and he can do those types of things, make sure he hauls in the catch, doesn't turn the ball over or not make that type of catch, that's what people are going to be pumped about.
Well, Joe, to be honest with you, I hate to say this, but I need to see the kid get hit.
Yeah, okay, that's
I mean,
true.
It's not going to be in practice.
Right.
It's not going to be in practice. I'm not even sure it's going to be in the preseason, but
that's true.
I'm just saying that in this league against these grown men, can he take that kind of punishment and then take that kind of punishment across the middle, crossing route, deep route, and then transition right back into becoming a DB afterwards. So that I just need to see that. That's all.
Over and over, he's going to be asked to do that. And we know our rule, and we are always, in some form or fashion, quoting Mike Tyson or whoever, hits change everything, okay? When the pads come on, hits happen, and it will change the way you view a player. Can he deal with the contact? Can he deal with that uncomfortable feeling like as soon as he extends his arms, he could catch it in the ribs? Those types of things he's going to have to prove to you that he can do it on a play-in, play-out basis.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the kid because, I mean, it's always impossible until it's done. So I want to see him do it. I really want to see him be as impactful on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, 100% on that. That's for sure. All right, you guys chime in, 641-1010. Hit the text line, Design by Lifetime Enclosures. Let's get to this. I got to tell you this one thing that is kind of funny. We were talking about NIL, and one of our texters says NIL is wild. Saw a stat this weekend with a 14-year-old Bryson Wright that he's already getting $55K from IG from an NIL deal at 14 years of age. And I did read where Bryson, this is the kid from Mandarin, that he's signing a trading card deal as a high schooler. It's just unreal the amount of money that is out there. That's what Rhett Lashley and everybody else is having to figure out, and how ultimately to construct their roster, because that has to be part of the equation. Here's our conversation. 1010XL 92.5 FM up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Day one of the ACC Kickoff, and one of the championship teams that played for the ACC is with us. Southern Methodist University, SMU Mustangs. Rhett Lashley joins us now. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know, it's Media Day kickoff means that the season's right upon us.
Yeah, this is talking season, Coach.
Talking season, baby.
You've heard it before. Now, listen, it was more than just talk a year ago, okay? Because you guys got to the championship game. You won an AAC with SMU. You came into the ACC and promptly got right in the mix. You made it to the college football playoff. Size up last year before we start looking ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. We felt like we had a team that could compete and belonged. But, you know, we came in and were able to prove that. And that was important. You know, I think in your first year, you only get one chance to make a good first impression. And we were able to do that. And our kids deserve a ton of credit over the last couple of years. You know, back-to-back 11-win seasons. I think it's going to be over 1,000 days since we've last lost a road regular season game or a conference game in the regular season. So what our coaching staff and our players have done and created is special. Now it's a new team. It's a new year, more challenging schedule, a lot of new faces, about 42 new faces. So, you know, we got to prove it all over again.
All right, spend a minute right there, because that's basically half of your scholarship roster. Yeah. It blows my mind. Okay, I grew up watching college football. You grew up coaching college football. And this transfer portal is a whole different animal.
Well, you know, 2 years ago we won the American Conference going into the ACC. We only lost 10 seniors, scholarship seniors. So we didn't have as many new faces, probably 30. And so we had a lot of returning experience last year. We've lost a ton, particularly on defense. We got a lot coming back on offense, particularly our quarterback, Kevin Jennings. But we signed 22 high school kids. It was the top 30 class, the best class in SMU history. But we still brought in 20 transfers as well, particularly to try to bulk up our O&D line. And a lot of, you know, we lost a lot on our front seven, which was a big part of our success. So I think our staff did a nice job. But that's 42 new faces of the 85.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not great at math, but that's basically half.
Yeah.
And but that's the way it is in college football now. You somewhat are establishing a program, and we feel like we've done that in 3 years, but you're really team building annually more than you're program building.
We got some SMU big boosters that are in Duval, and a lot of them stepped up quickly because they want that level of college football played in that Dallas Metroplex area. So that is a huge boost for you.
Yeah, you know, the city of Dallas, big-time college football program, and we're the only option. And so when we get into the ACC, it allows us to provide a big-time college football team for a great city. And then we have an incredible alumni base, donor base, and a lot of tradition and pride in our university. And so we have great alignment right now. Everybody that's associated with SMU, from our president, from our board, from our AD, and all our supporters and fans on down, recognize the moment. We have a chance to seize the moment. We started well with that last year, but this year's just as important. But they're fully committed to us, you know, becoming a national brand again and being on the biggest stage.
We're talking with Rhett Lashley, coach of SMU. The Mustangs they got big ball games. You got Baylor, you got Miami, you got a handful of other bigs. When you like note to self after the ACC championship and then the loss in the playoff? What did you say? Hey, I got to either do this or change this.
Not a whole lot to change. I mean, look, we played really well against Clemson. We had a really poor first quarter, some things that were self-inflicted, some things that just some bad breaks that didn't go our way, and we got in a hole. But for the last 3 quarters, we really dominated, and we just had dug too big a hole. So we played good football against who I think should be the number 1 team in America going into this season in Clemson. Then we go to the playoff and play really poor offensively, but our defense played really well. If you watch that game, our defense played well enough to win that game. Offensively, we had 2 pick sixes. We had the ball inside the 10 4 times and got 3 points. We moved the ball up and down the field and did everything you're supposed to do to lose a game. Yeah. So we did. But the score wasn't indicative of the fact that we belonged on that field. And so you walk away disappointed that we didn't put our best foot forward there. We didn't finish the Clemson game. We didn't play better in that game at Happy Valley. But we were back on the national stage, and we know internally we belong. Now it's a new year, new season. We got to go do it all over again.
Listen, I will not forget the Kevin Jennings play, okay? Because I thought inside the 5, I thought that was a ballsy. It took some stones to call it and execute it, and obviously, like you said, it didn't go your way. But that was a ball game that, you, like you said, you were in. Yeah, no, I mean, I think if you look at Kevin Jennings' body of work for 11 games last year as a starter, 9 of them he was exceptional. 2 of them he didn't play his best, Duke and Penn State. But if you look at the last 3 quarters of that Clemson game, there's no question who the best quarterback was on the field. And I think the world of Cade Klubnik. Yeah. And he's getting all the praise and accolades he deserves. Mm-hmm. But if you watch that game, Kevin outdueled him, particularly in the second half and the fourth quarter. So it just tells you, I think, the quarterback strength here in the ACC. All right, so let's just wrap with this. The idea of 12 college football playoff teams is exciting. It's not enough. Okay, why? Tell me why. Because, listen, you're not going to go like Eli Drinkowitz and say, give me 30. Eli and I are really good friends, and we see it a lot more alike than we do different. I think there's no question it needs to be 16. Okay. More access is better for the players and the fans, which is what matters. I don't think we need 30, but I do think there's something to having a championship play-in Saturday, that last Saturday that we currently play all the championship games on, to where, you know, maybe the top 5 or 6 teams in each of the Power 4 conferences are still relevant on that Saturday. Yeah. And even only those 16 teams are going to get in. I think there's something to that. Look, it's about the players. It's about the fans. We need more players, more access. The committee does the best job they can, but it's a job set up for failure. We don't need human people that are going to have natural biases making these decisions. We should have been in no-brainer last year. Miami should have been in last year, and so should Alabama. Mm-hmm. But they get put in all these tough situations. Let's take the committee out of it. There's no other major professional sport that uses a committee. There's no other – and college football is number 2 in America. It's the NFL and it's college football. Period. There's no committees for the World Cup. There's no committees for the NFL playoffs. It's you win, you're in. You win your division. You know what the requirements are. Let's let the play on the field satisfy who those 16 teams are, and then have 8 games on a college campus round 1, and then do the neutral sites. And I think it would be incredible. I'd be all for it. NIL, though, problem solve that. What would be the one suggestion that you would make? If you do sign a deal, you have to commit for 2 years. What's There's a lot of suggestions that we would have as coaches, but none of them are going to work. Nobody's going to listen to us. But with the current framework, we have made progress as long as the CSC and this revenue sharing and NIL Go has teeth. As long as there's accountability and people are forced to play within this cap, then it's made it better. Mm-hmm. It's given it some guardrails, but we still need major congressional help, particularly with the agents issue in sports. Agents are taking advantage of young men and families, and they're creating more issues than solutions. And then if we don't get some regulation around that nationally, not by state, just like they have in the NFL or the NBA, we're going to continue to have problems. Yeah, because I've heard some horror stories, that's for sure. Hey, Rhett, great to visit with you. Best of luck. I know SMU fans are fired up for it coming up, kicking off real soon. Hey, appreciate you having me on. Coach Lashley of SMU.
XL Primetime, driven by Big Number 1 Duval Ford, the number 1 place to buy your next vehicle. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to kind of acknowledge it.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
All right, it was a miracle.
The Drill, mornings on 1010XL.
Can we go now?
Make a statement this summer with luxury. Experience the art of progress at Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville. Choose the sleek and powerful G70 or the versatile and refined GV80 SUV that's designed to elevate your journey. Enjoy exclusive summer offers and flexible financing. Showroom on Atlantic Boulevard or learn more at genesisofnortheastjacksonville.com for all life's journeys. Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville is here. Welcome to the family. Offers subject to change. See dealer for details.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, where things are heating up big time for the boys of summer. Download the Hard Rock Bet app right now and swing for the fences with your favorite baseball team and the best odds at Hard Rock Bet. And don't forget, new customers who bet $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Easy to navigate, play to win. Head to Hard Rock Bet right now with odds on every sport waiting for you. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, would your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take the field this Saturday. Kickoff at 7. Tickets start at just $15. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Ask about the Sharks 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. It's Military Appreciation Night, presented by True Vet Solutions. All current and former military can purchase a special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for a jersey auction and autograph session, sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
This is Joe C. from XL Primetime and stoked to crank up the 9 after 5 once again at the Golf Club of Southampton. Every Wednesday, a little after 5, the gang at Southampton will be hosting us with a new game, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it. Now, through the summer stretch, break up the week with a little hump day fun every Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY to get on the tee sheet. There'll be food afterwards and prizes, including playing for a membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and hit the tee with Joe C.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Hicken, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Rockberry and Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T. And we're buying you lunch. Stay tuned for this sound.
Bye-bye! Rockberry and Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
To win your tickets, courtesy of Jenkins Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We are definitely having a good time up in Charlotte, North Carolina, talking ACC football, and a conversation with Tony Elliott coming up here in just a second. But Big, before we get to that conversation, the idea that Rhett Lashley's putting out there and others have put out there are the other championship divisions, and it could be Division I, Division II, whomever, the percentage of teams, because you're talking about what we got 135, something like that, and then the percentage of teams is way low. And I do like the fact that Rhett said we ain't going with 30, but they want as many as they can possibly get.
Yeah, I mean, he did give Miami a shout out because they were in the conference. There was a lot of teams on the back end from last year, that I felt that they should have made the playoffs. I mean, South Carolina, who was playing better than them, of course, Miami. I think it just creates more intrigue when you add more teams and it gets more eyeballs on the TV. But I don't want, if it's 16, I'm good with 16. 24, 30, that's just ridiculous.
Right.
That's just crazy. Just 16 is probably as far as I would go with it.
And it's funny because I'm sure if you look at the lower classifications, there still is an example of teams that either outspend, outwit, outmaneuver other schools because they have more wherewithal to do it. But it still doesn't matter. I think as long as we're getting further away from one or two teams among 130 with a shot at playing for a title, I'm embracing that part of it.
Well, yeah, and listen, I mean, it's good that all these teams have this money to spend, but you got to spend the money on the right kids. Yeah. If you're spending around kids that aren't being productive, then you just giving away the bag. So I mean, it's still important. I think that's the reason why a lot of these GMs are into play now. That Ron Rivera was talking about. You've got to make sure that money that you're spending is being allocated to players who are productive. You don't want to be paying guys who don't pan out. You want to hit more than you miss. That's just like in the NFL. When you draft guys in the first 2 or 3 rounds, you got to make sure you hit on those guys. They got to be impactful, or it could disrupt your whole roster down the stretch. So I think these college teams are putting that same, they're putting that same predicament. So, yeah, but Lashley, I mean, first of all, I'm a big fan of him when he was at University of Miami, the offense coordinator. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan, but he's got all that oil money, so he ain't got nothing to worry about as far as money goes.
And dude, they surrendered their first year share just to get in the conference, which was 30-some million, and they, like you just said, they went to Big Oil and said, hey, we need to make up that amount of money. And they said, no problem.
Yeah,
and they jumped right in.
And I like another thing that he said is that, I mean, he said that SMU belonged. I mean, you're talking about a team that had back-to-back 11-win seasons, and they had 11 wins in the ACC. That's no real monumental feat, but when you look at your first time in the ACC and you make it to the championship game, that's pretty special. And had an opportunity to win it if it wasn't for a last-second field goal by Clemson, the one that won the game for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows that they got swamped in that game against Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they were the runner-up of the conference and only had one other loss, that kept them in the college football playoff picture. But, yeah, and they have enough money around SMU that if he does win again, one of the big boys is going to come after him, and they hope that they can keep him there. That's for sure.
Now, there's one thing he said I don't agree with. He said that the score didn't look as bad. Well, listen, I watched that game against Penn State. Penn State beat them up pretty good. I mean, I know he's a coach and he wants to save face, but when you watch that game, just the physicality inside the trenches on the offensive defensive line, Penn State they put belt to butt.
Yeah, they did whoop them, but I did, and JJ knows this. I had something on the line at Hard Rock with the SMU and the points. And
I felt like they actually did move the ball in that game. They were pretty unlucky, yeah.
When they went for it on fourth down, it was such a beautiful
to start
play.
The game, yeah.
Yeah, such a beautiful play, and he couldn't complete the pass. He took off running. That's what it was. Anyway, he was aggressive, and the play call was aggressive, and then backfired. And then, like you said, Leon's correct.
When you get in the red zone, that's when it separates the men from the boys.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't handle it.
That's what I mean. Because, I mean, there was no – in my assessment, there was no time in the game where I felt like that SMU had a shot.
Yeah.
And that's
all right. Let's hear from this is another team that believes, believe it or not, they have money now to compete. The question is will this head coach still be their head coach when they're able to spend all that money? But let's hear the conversation we had with Wahoo. ACC Kickoff. We were up in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Joe C. with XL Primetime. And it's a pleasure to say hello to every head coach that we get to come through here. But this guy's got a little tie to Duval. Tony Elliott, coach of Virginia. The Cavaliers are getting ready to roll.
That's
but,
right.
we're going to talk a little Jaguar football.
There we go.
Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne down there. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And I think, there's a lot of energy in the building as far as what's coming up with 2025 in this calendar year. I know at Virginia you're anxious to get to start stacking together some wins.
That's right.
There have been challenges galore. I think you know that. I know that, and Cavalier fans know that. But where are you at in terms of looking forward to 2025 with the Cavaliers?
I'm excited. I think this is the most complete and deepest roster that we've had in 4 seasons. We've got an influx of 50 plus new players, which I think is going to bring great experience and energy and competition.
Right.
I think the key to winning at a high level is competition day in and day out in your building and on the practice field. So I'm excited.
Now, you named Chandler Morris, a guy who comes from North Texas to Virginia, and you feel like it was important to name him as your starting quarterback. Why?
Yeah, just coming out of spring, I think for the offseason with the amount of new faces in the building, man, we needed some direction. It's critical to have leadership from the quarterback position in the locker room. And Danny Kaelin did a great job, too. And so, the messaging was, hey, this is kind of how we finished in the spring. This is how we're going through the summer. There's still going to be competition on the practice field when we start up in fall camp. But I thought it was important with the amount of new guys around the building that we had some direction and we said, hey, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. And that's also the time where the coaches step away.
Right.
And we needed kind of a veteran leadership voice in the locker room.
And I like that. He's already said, hey, we want to win a championship, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. You can speak that into existence, right?
Yeah, it's like, what does Bill Walsh say?
Yeah.
He said champions behave like champions well before they're champions, right?
Yeah.
So in order for you to become a champion, you don't wait until the championship moment, so to speak, right? You got to be a champion every single day, and if you don't believe it, then nobody else will.
All right, we've been having fun with Tommy Castellanos and Diego Pavia, both of them kind of talking a little bit about Bama. But you want to put that type of personality in your quarterback's uniform to lead, right?
That's right. I don't know if I'm ready to go talk about Bama yet, but no, you want a guy that's got some moxie.
Yeah.
And the one that you got, he's got a lot of moxie. He's got a lot of fire, and I'm excited. I think this is going to be the year, that that comes together for Trevor.
Well, it's going to be fun. Well, let's get into him, and then we'll get back to Virginia. Because, honestly, Coach, we're talking with Tony Elliott. He was under Dabo Swinney at Clemson. He coached Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence. And obviously, your midst and your mind were with Trevor in that game plan offensively. Anyway, he's entering year 5, and this is a challenging year. And you know, your offense, he was successful.
Mm-hmm.
He comes into the National Football League, and it was a cluster in 21 under Urban. It didn't last. Urban was gone. Doug Peterson had a lot of success in 2022. At the end of it, got him to the playoffs. But then we all know what's happened since then. They've lost way too many ball games. So enter Liam Cohen. And now he's going to hopefully create an offense that's going to have a run game, going to give Trevor a little more power under center. What do you think of how does Trevor handle all the change and everything like that?
I'll say this: I don't get to watch as much of the NFL as I would like to. But what I do know about Trevor is he's a winner. He's got unbelievable character. I mean, the young man's been under a microscope since he was 13 years old, and he's handled it flawlessly. Yeah. So I would believe that hopefully with some consistency and some continuity, that he's going to get it to where you guys want it to go.
I do think Tony Elliott's an offensive mind. That's where you cut your teeth on that side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And then Liam Cohen has been at Kentucky, at L.A., then to Tampa, and now he gets his head coaching job. And then he also pulled in a few other guys that had some college experience. Mm-hmm. Do you see a little more of that morphing of the college type of spread or RPO that's now entering the NFL game, and that's why this is happening?
I do, and I think some of it is relative to the amount of time that you get with the guys. Right. I mean, there's constant restriction on the amount of time that you get with the guys, and then there's changeover from the staff standpoint. So there's a lot of factors that impact it. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, Trevor made me a lot better than what I was, because you know what, I tried to fit everything to his strengths to a certain extent, and the things that he was comfortable with, go with it, and let him go make a play.
Couple more for Tony Elliott, coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, and Travis Etienne's one of the other guys that you coach, and you saw 4 years or 3 years of record-setting performances with Etienne up in Clemson. Anyway, there was a lot of rumors about him being on the trade block in this offseason. I can visualize him in this Liam Cohen offense having some success.
Right.
And I would like to – that would be a great jumping-off point year 5 for him as well.
Yeah, I'm ready to see that breakout. But I spent a lot of time with Travis, and I know it seems like it happened quickly at Clemson, but it was building, right? Like he was slowly learning. Some of the things that he was doing as a young guy, he was just doing off of sheer talent that, he could get away with in certain situations. But then as he became an older guy, he had to learn kind of how to play the position, right, the scheme. And so I'm hopeful that once he gets this new system down, you'll be able to see, because he hasn't tapped his ceiling yet. Yeah. There's more room in that ceiling, and I'm telling Travis, hey, let's go. Now's the time.
I'd like to see it from him, that's for sure. All right, so now's the time. It's a good way to talk about Virginia Cavalier football. And we were talking a little bit earlier about the finances of football. It has become an incredibly difficult challenge to handle NIL, to get people involved. And I'm just not going to ask you to say this, but we read reports where there's a lot of money that could be funneled into that Virginia Cavalier football program. How important is that?
That's critical. I think that in this day and age, you have to invest to be successful. It's changing so fast that you'll get left behind if you don't invest.
Yeah, and I would say there was a time when maybe, and this may or may not be fair to say, Coach, but Virginia hasn't won an ACC since 1995, and I remember a lot of those good players wearing Cavalier uniforms back then. This gives you a chance to be more competitive with money in the coffers compared to not having money.
I think it does for not just Virginia, but for a lot of schools, right? Because I think with the structure that we're going to, and we believe that this is going to create some sustainability and some equity in college football, and with the transfer portal, which you didn't used to have, access to movement the way that you do now. I think it gives, everybody a chance, right? More so than maybe years in the past.
And so you would prefer this if there are some guidelines.
If there's guide rails, I think that that you gotta adapt with the times, right? I was a college football player that wasn't allowed to get a free soda.
Yeah.
So I'm an advocate for guys being able to be compensated for what they do bring. But I think with anything, there's got to be structure, there's got to be rules, and if we can have rules around it, I think we can get this thing right.
So it's reasonable to say that Virginia, if that money is there and sustainable dollars, that you can go out with that outlay of cash, and in the NIL world or the rev share world, you can recruit with the rest of the ACC.
I think it gives you an opportunity to have a seat at the table in the conversation, and then ultimately, I believe there's a lot of things that the University of Virginia can bring to the table that other schools can't. But you got to be able to get to the table, and so if you can get to the table because the financial piece is already taken care of, then I think you have a chance to go compete and battle with other schools around the country.
All right, Wahoo up. I know they're all fired up.
Yes, sir. Wahoo
from Jeff Lageman, one of our Jaguar guys that was a Cavalier, and all my other guys that love the Cavaliers. Best of luck, Coach. We appreciate the time.
Appreciate it. Same to you guys.
All right, Tony Elliott from Virginia.
XL Primetime from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Former Jags middle linebacker Tom McManus brings some grit to the ladies of helmets and heels.
You do it as tough as it is possible to do.
Catch the new look helmets and heels afternoons 2 to 4.
And you do that in all things.
On 1010XL.
Sun's out, savings out. That's what the summer is all about. Hurry to Kia on Atlantic this month to maximize your fun in the sun. Make no payments for 90 days and drive new Kia starting under $20K. Plus, it's easy to shop for new Kias when you know we have financing rates starting at 0. Take advantage of the sunniest time of year and drive away with the sunshine savings from here. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your Kia Coastal Connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
If a storm impacts our area, JEA is ready to respond. Our team of over 2,000 employees is prepared to move in when the storm moves on. Once restoration efforts begin, we won't stop until everyone is back online. And we'll keep you informed with real-time updates at JEA.com and the MyJEA app. We're ready for storm season and want you to be too. Visit JEA.com/storm to learn what you can do now to prepare.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late or feeling stressed or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hacker here, fresh back from vacation. You know, it's interesting since I started my Awaken 180 journey. You know, in the past, when I would go on vacation, it would just be a total free-for-all, right? Eat whatever's fried, this, that, or the other. But Awaken 180 not only has helped me lose over 100 pounds, it has changed my mindset on food. I eat healthier now because I know and I understand how good not having that excess weight feels. When I talk about Awaken 180 weight loss being life-changing, it is. And all different aspects, including things I order and things I even enjoy to do on vacation now. Awaken 180 has changed my life for the better thanks to all the weight it has allowed me to lose and now to keep off. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Change your life with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
My takeaway is that because of NIL, the dynamics of the locker rooms have changed. I know when I was in the NFL, we used to say, keep your hand out of my pocket, which means that what I made ain't none of your business. But when you're in the college level, you're dealing with 17, 18-year-old kids, they seem to embellish how much money or how much riches they have as far as they show off, they show out, they brag about it. And you get that in the locker room. You get that kind of cancer in the locker room. Guys get jealous. They get upset. And it's a tough task. But now most other schools, some schools can handle it and other schools can't. But it's a problem. It's an epidemic that needs to be handled because these kids get money now, which I'm all for. Mm-hmm. But they just got to know how the whole psyche behind the money, what to do with it, how to invest, where not to spend it. That's an important part of the fact. It's an important part of the game now that you got to educate these kids on what to do with it now because a lot of them are going to lose millions before they even get a shot at the NFL.
Yeah, and you have fourth down and damn, a lineman story, and you tell tales as far as what can happen and how quickly it can spiral out of control. And, like, just think about it, Leon. When you had your kids or when your mom and dad were raising you, you can remember they'd go open up a little bank account. They'd try and give you an idea of how to save money and be responsible. But we're talking about money that is way beyond what a normal situation would be like. Here's a texter who says, I wish these kids would have to take some sort of finance class to be smarter with their money because I hate seeing when somebody had a lot of money and just blew it and it's ruined. And that's kind of what you're referring to, is that they get a lot of money in their hands, but they don't necessarily know how to handle it.
Well, it's not that not only do they not know how to handle it, but they've got people around them that they entrust. They're advised to do certain things with the money. And most of these guys, not all of them, but most of them are pariahs. Most of them are taking lump sums of money out of their NIL deals, putting them in bad deals here, bad deals there, and then by the end of their reign in college football, and they don't make it to the pro league, they're left with nothing, and they're left without a degree.
Yeah. And honestly, all the answers that they want, someone's going to give them the answers that they think they need to hear. And in reality, we know that these players are getting duped by agents telling them, hey, you're going to be a superstar. Do this. And they don't really take them under their wing the right way because they're trying to profit off of them. And you heard Rhett Lashley say it earlier, Leon. There's some agents that are seriously taking advantage of these players. And we've already heard horror stories about 30% and beyond as far as what they're getting. That's for sure.
Yeah, those are loan sharks, bro. If they're taking 30-40% of these players' money, come on. That's what needs to be regulated, because in the NFL, the most the agent can make in the NFL is 5%. Yeah. All right? So why is it that the NIL money, these agents or these guys are getting their deal? How are they getting 30 or 40% of these kids' money? And you know if a kid, if a guy say, hey, man, I can get you $1 million at 40%, a kid's like, oh, okay, that's $600,000. But I'm just saying, he's not supposed to be getting that kind of money.
Yeah,
there needs to be some kind of regulation on that. And what are the qualifications of these people that are able to do these NIL deals too? Because in the NFL, you got to go through courses and classes to become agents to represent guys in the NFL. Why aren't those same things implemented here in college football with these guys who are getting these NIL deals and taking 30 and 40% for these kids' money?
Yeah, I really wish that those are I don't like regulations as a rule, but those are the guardrails that we absolutely need. Do you remember the time, obviously, when you were coming up and you had Drew Rosenhaus as your agent, but remember those street agents that we had back then? And they had to basically get licensed in the state. They had to report that they were negotiating deals because they were taking advantage of players. The classic Tank Black ripping Freddie T off to the tune of $5 million.
That part
yeah.
Right there, yeah.
You start thinking about it like that, and they need to have some way, and I think Rhett also said this, it can't be state to state, but apparently that's the path we're going to have to go down first.
Well, see, these agents, they think they're smart, which what they're doing is because they're taking these top-notch players, and they're creating companies underneath their agency that handles NIL deals. So they'll get a kid an NIL deal, and then what happens is they'll make him a whole bunch of money, and then when he goes pro, that they sign with the agent once they go pro. So these agents are making corporations and companies underneath their agencies, appearing that they're not attached to one another. So then they have other entities that work and get these guys these NIL deals, and the money is funneled into the business, but the agent is still getting his cut from it, even though it seems like he's not a part of it. I know for sure it's being done. I ain't gonna say his name, but he used to be my agent. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to say his name, but he used to be mine. You can look him up. That's for sure. He's been in movies. Let's say that.
That part.
But yeah, and they honestly they see you as a stock in some ways, and they do good deals for you, but they're never going to do a good deal for you that doesn't include a good deal for them. At least that's how most of them operate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they
move in shadows, bro. They move in shadows.
Yeah, they do.
I'm trying to get in on that.
Huh?
If there's any local high schoolers that are willing to give me 40% of their NIL deal, hit me up, 641-1010.
Go with the young Mandarin child, okay?
Yeah, the 14-year-old.
Yeah, he's gonna be
because he definitely has him a sweetheart deal. And look, that flag championship that the Jaguars team won with that unbelievable catch, those kids they're visible and viable stars now when they come out. And so their game, their brand, everything that they do, there are people that are wanting to zero in on them way too early in their sporting life to take advantage of them, and it sucks.
Now, Joe, is that an omen that team won?
I would love for
Super Bowl preview.
Is that just us trying to grasp anything?
Any straw.
Yeah, any straw. Because I watched the game. Yeah, I watched the flag football championships, man, and I was cheering them on. and because they had Duval on. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been able to represent, baby.
Well, you hope it's a sign of good things to come when you see Jaguars and championship in the same sentence, because that's basically what it was, and that was a baller of a catch, that's for sure. All right, real quick, let's do the 10-10 take just so we can kind of wrap up ACC Kickoff for the day here.
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Delicious barbecue, always waiting for you. They smoke it slow and serve it fast. Take advantage of the big deal, the pork and rib combo, the all-you-can-eat ribs for less than $20. It's all right there at any one of your area Sonny's. It shouldn't be lost on Seminole fans that the 3 players that Mike Norvell and FSU brought in are all transfer portal guys. Richie Leonard IV, Earl Little Jr., and Tommy Castellanos. Castellanos, UCF, Boston College, now FSU. Earl Little Jr., a couple years in Tuscaloosa, now a couple of years in Tallahassee, and Richie from Gainesville up to the state capital. And so he is still having to deal with that roster management. He was the king of the transfer portal in the very early 3 years of his coaching at FSU, and he came on strong with those guys like Jared Verse and so many other ones, Keon Coleman, that he was able to bring in. But these are 3 transfer portal guys that at the very least 2 of the 3, Leon, don't necessarily look like star power in Richie Leonard and Earl Little, but Castellanos can save the day for them if he can do it on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, Norvell a couple of years ago, he was absolute genius when it came to the portal because he had more hits than misses. Mm-hmm. But when you do that kind of stuff, when you go into the portal and you don't recruit well and develop, and then when you do the next year and you miss on guys, then you don't have the depth or the recruiting talent to compensate for your misses or on your recruit or your misses on the transfer portal. That's when 2-10 happens.
Yeah, exactly. And that is never good. All right, let's get ready for Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels coming up next as we hand it off day 1 of training camp. How super excited are you guys for the show today?
Doing great, Joe. Great to see you through the TV and next to the big man here. Yeah, it was great, man. First day, they're running around. Nice weather, wasn't too bad. They got a lot done, it seemed. I thought overall it was pretty good. I did. I thought, obviously they got to clean up some things. I didn't like the 2 offsides, and I didn't hear anybody yell at anybody, so I didn't like that. But I liked a few plays out there, and, so far I think so good. Good first day for them.
And Leon, it's true, because I know you're looking at Tommy Mack right now. Both of you, it drives you crazy when you just want to see some pads go on.
Yeah, well, now they're ballroom dancing, as far as I'm concerned. So we put the pads on this. That's when you separate the men from the
That's
boys.
right. Yeah. And nobody looked forward to having the pads on going against Leon. Trust me, practice included. He almost killed me once. I'll never forget. I just moved out of the way just in the nick of time. And I don't know if you remember this. I said, you were coming to get me, weren't you? And he's like, I was like, thank goodness you missed.
How quickly, Tommy Mack, could Leon get to the linebacker?
Oh, ridiculously quick. That's what makes the NFL linemen so much different than college. Not only just the size and strength, but how quick all of them are getting up to that linebacker level, man. It's something you got to adapt to and kind of get used to and hopefully figure out over time.
Yeah. All right. What are you guys going to be dipping into today?
You know it. First day of Jags training camp practice going to be great. The fans were out there. It was packed. We're going to give the good, the bad, and everything else in between. So be a fun show.
All right, brother man. Sounds good. They'll be listening.
All right,
Tom McManus, Lauren, and Taylor as they get ready to rock and roll with Helmets and Heels, and then into the Francis Show a little bit later on into the night with Rick Ballou. I made a guest appearance on that last night, and then Hacker After Dark. And I tell you what, Leon, as we wrap up our show, you go from day 1 to day 2. The energy is just going to keep ramping up. We will see pads win, I believe, on Saturday or Monday. I'm trying to remember. Maybe Monday.
I think it's Monday is the first day of the pads. They got to get their bodies acclimated first.
Right. Yeah, it'll be awesome. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. All right, looking forward to Mike Norvell a little bit later on. We'll make sure that we hear from him coming up. So you guys enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Don't forget the Golf Club of Southampton, 287 play. You can give them a shout, and you can head on out. Enjoy 9 after 5.
XL Primetime is driven by